You are here for a reason, not by accident, not by coincidence, but by the same invisible force that draws wealth to those who speak its language fluently. In this very moment, as you hear these words, there is a financial door in your life that has remained stubbornly closed, a door to prosperity, to abundance, to the wealth that should be flowing freely into your bank account, your investments, your entire financial reality. And today, that door swings open. But let me tell you what no one else will. The key to wealth is not in your strategy. It was never in your business plan. The key is in your voice, but not the voice that speaks to clients or investors. The voice that speaks to the universe itself, the voice that commands money to flow, the voice that Genevieve Behrend called your prosperity decree. Most people spend their entire lives chasing money that could have flowed to them with a whisper, if only they knew the right frequency to broadcast. They create business plans, network frantically, work extra hours, study investment strategies. They believe the problem is finding the right words to say to clients, investors, or employers to convince them to pay more money. But those people are not the source. They are simply messengers carrying news of what you have already decided in the invisible realm where all financial outcomes are born. Picture this moment. You standing before a golden vault that has been waiting your entire life for you to remember the combination. Not a complex sequence of numbers, not financial expertise that requires years to develop, but a simple decree spoken from the authority of one who knows their divine right to prosperity. That decree is not a request for money. It is a command for wealth to flow. It is not hope for abundance. It is knowing abundance. It is not someday. It is now. If you feel that magnetic pull in your chest, that recognition that this message about financial freedom was meant for you, show the universe your readiness by engaging fully. Leave a comment with these 3 words, "Money flows now," and let that be your first decree to the cosmos. And if you sense you are part of something larger than yourself, a collective awakening to true financial authority, subscribe to this channel as your declaration that you are ready to learn the language of prosperity. The resistance is already rising, isn't it? The voice that says, "Making money is more complicated than that," or "Real wealth requires hard work and sacrifice." Thank that voice for its concern, then set it gently aside. What you are about to discover is not complicated, because complications are the ego's way of keeping you from your financial inheritance. Wealth flows along the path of least resistance when you stop creating the resistance. Let us continue. The real secret begins now. There is a heaviness you carry that you may not even recognize anymore, the weight of financial doors that have closed in your face so many times you have stopped believing that wealth was meant to flow to you. The loan rejections that arrive like clockwork, the investment opportunities that seem to evaporate the moment you express interest, the clients who somehow always choose someone else, the raises that go to colleagues, the business ventures that fail despite your best efforts. This weight settles in your chest like a stone that grows heavier with each financial disappointment. You begin to move differently through the world, avoiding conversations about money, apologizing for your prices before you even quote them, speaking of abundance as if it belongs to other people but not to you. And the financial world, being the perfect mirror it is, reflects back your inner frequency of unworthiness and scarcity. You walk into financial institutions already expecting rejection. You begin salary negotiations with phrases that drain your power before you even state your worth. "I know the budget might be tight, but I'm probably asking for too much, however. This might be unrealistic, yet each word becomes a brick in the wall you are building between yourself and your prosperity. The air around you feels thick with the energy of old financial failures, investments that went nowhere, debts that accumulated despite your efforts, dreams of wealth that withered from lack of nourishment. You taste financial struggle before you even check your bank account. The flavor of never enough becomes so familiar, you begin to crave it because at least it is predictable. At night, in the quiet darkness of your bedroom, you replay the financial conversations that could have gone differently. The business pitch where you undervalued yourself. The moment when you could have asked for more money but settled for less. The investment opportunity that was clearly profitable, but you convinced yourself you couldn't afford the risk. And each replay carves the pattern deeper, training your subconscious to expect more financial limitation. But here is what no one has told you. Every closed financial door was not a rejection of your worthiness to receive money. Every closed financial door was a perfect response to the frequency of financial limitation you were unknowingly broadcasting. The universe was not withholding your prosperity. The universe was agreeing with your inner belief that you were not ready, not worthy, not destined for wealth. The stone in your chest is not your financial destiny. The thick air around you is not your natural abundance atmosphere. The taste of struggle is not your prosperity birthright. These are symptoms of a financial frequency that can be changed in an instant, as quickly as tuning a radio from poverty consciousness to wealth consciousness. And just as water finds its way to the ocean, flowing around every obstacle toward its natural destination, there is a current of money constantly seeking you. But it cannot reach someone who is broadcasting the frequency of financial unavailability, monetary unworthiness, or prosperity defeat. The current of wealth needs a clear signal to lock onto, a beacon that says, I am ready for money, I am open to abundance, I am here to receive prosperity. We are about to change that financial frequency permanently. Let us continue. There was a woman named Diana who carried that same stone of financial limitation in her chest for nearly 15 years. A talented graphic designer with a portfolio that could make other artists weep with envy. Yet she could never seem to command the fees that would lift her from the exhausting cycle of small projects and clients who haggled over every dollar. Every proposal felt like begging for scraps from an indifferent financial universe. Every rate discussion ended with the same apologetic acceptance of less than she was worth. Diana had convinced herself that financial success in her field required connections she didn't have, credentials she couldn't afford, or perhaps a certain ruthlessness that wasn't in her nature. She would spend hours crafting proposals with elaborate justifications for her modest rates, researching competitors' pricing to ensure she wasn't asking for too much. Her studio walls were covered with sticky notes containing phrases she had read in business books about value propositions and competitive pricing. She had memorized the language of financial negotiation, but somehow kept speaking the dialect of monetary struggle. One evening, after receiving yet another email from a client who wanted to discuss reducing the project scope to match their budget, code for asking her to work for even less money, Diana found herself sitting in her car in a parking lot, tears streaming down her face. Not tears of sadness, but tears of exhaustion from trying so hard for financial results that never seemed to match her efforts. In that moment of complete surrender, she heard something her grandmother had once told her. Stop begging for money that already belongs to you. The phrase struck her like lightning in clear sky. What money already belonged to her? The fair compensation for her talent, the abundant payment that matched her skill level, the prosperity that was her divine right, as someone who creates value in the world. But she had been treating her financial worth as if it were a privilege to be granted by others rather than a fact to be recognized by the universe. That night, Diana made a decision that changed everything financially. Instead of preparing another carefully researched proposal for a luxury hotel chain that had expressed interest but then started negotiating her rates down, she sat quietly in her studio and spoke aloud to the universe itself. Not to the client, not to their budget committee, not to the decision makers, to the invisible intelligence that orchestrates all perfect matches between valuable services and generous compensation. This project and my prosperity are divinely matched, she said, not as a hope, but as a recognition of what was already true in the realm where all financial outcomes exist. My creative vision serves their highest needs with generous abundance for all. This collaboration unfolds with perfect ease and abundant compensation. I speak now from my financial authority, not from my monetary need. She did not rehearse this statement. She did not practice different ways to ask for more money. She simply sat in the knowing of her worth, feeling how different it was to claim her divine right to prosperity rather than plead for financial approval. Then she sent one simple email to the client. I'm ready to create something extraordinary for you. My investment for this level of excellence is $15,000. When shall we begin? This was triple what she had been prepared to accept after their earlier negotiations. But she sent it from a completely different frequency, not hope that they might pay it, but knowing that abundant compensation was the natural exchange for extraordinary value. 47 minutes later, her phone rang. The hotel's creative director was calling personally to apologize for the delay and to inform her they were moving forward immediately with her full rate. Not only had they approved her $15,000 fee, but they were adding 2 additional properties to the project, bringing the total contract value to $50,000. This represented more money than Diana had made in the previous 8 months combined. But the real financial miracle was not the money itself or the prestige of landing such a high-paying client. The real miracle was that Diana finally understood the difference between hoping someone would pay her worth and knowing her worth was already established in divine law. That shift in financial frequency changed how she approached every subsequent money conversation. Her voice carried a different quality, not arrogance, not desperation, but the quiet certainty of someone whose prosperity is already decided by higher authority than human opinion. Within 3 months, Diana had a waiting list of clients willing to pay premium rates for her services. The same talent that had struggled for financial recognition was now commanding fees that reflected her true value. The only thing that changed was the frequency of her financial broadcast, the signal she was sending to the field of infinite prosperity. If Diana's transformation resonates with something deep in your financial consciousness, if you feel ready to step into that same frequency of knowing your monetary worth and claiming your prosperity authority, we are just beginning to scratch the surface. The mechanism she discovered is available to you right now, and it works with mathematical precision once you understand its wealth creation principles. Let us continue deeper into this financial revelation. Genevieve Behrend understood what Diana discovered in that parking lot, that every person carries within them a prosperity broadcasting station of extraordinary power, transmitting their deepest beliefs about their financial worth and monetary deservingness into the quantum field that governs all wealth distribution. This field, which responds to the frequency of your inner financial voice with perfect fidelity, is not mystical speculation, but the foundation of how consciousness creates monetary experience. When you speak to the universe from the frequency of financial authority rather than monetary need, from wealth knowing rather than abundance hoping, from prosperity claiming rather than money requesting, you activate what Behrend called the divine abundance principle. As within, so without. As you decree in the invisible realm of financial consciousness, so it must manifest in your visible bank account. Not because the universe is granting you financial favors, but because you are aligning with wealth laws as precise and reliable as the law of gravity. Most people approach money manifestation backwards. They try to manipulate their external financial actions while leaving their internal prosperity broadcast unchanged. They craft perfect business pitches while secretly expecting to be undervalued. They negotiate salary increases while inwardly apologizing for their audacity to ask for more money. They speak confidence about their worth to others while broadcasting unworthiness to the universe. And they wonder why their outer financial efforts produce such inconsistent monetary results. But when you understand that the universe responds not to what you say to clients or employers about money, but to what you declare to existence itself about your financial worth, not to your request for more money, but to your recognition of the abundance that already belongs to you, not to your hope for prosperity, but to your knowing of wealth, everything shifts financially. You stop being someone who tries to convince others of your monetary value and become someone whose financial worth is so established in the invisible realm that others cannot help but compensate you generously. This is not about positive thinking or wealth visualization techniques. This is about claiming your divine inheritance as a being with creative authority over your own financial experience. You are not a beggar pleading with a reluctant universe for money. You are a sovereign consciousness commanding the elements of prosperity into alignment with your highest financial good. The words that open financial doors are not clever sales techniques or psychological manipulation strategies. They are prosperity decrees issued from the place within you that knows, beyond doubt, beyond fear, beyond the evidence of current bank balances, that you and abundant compensation are perfectly matched, that financial obstacles are temporary illusions, that wealth seeks you as naturally as rivers seek the sea. When Diana sat in her studio and spoke to the universe rather than practicing her pitch about money to the client, she engaged her true financial creative power. She stopped trying to convince someone to pay her worth and started knowing her worth was already established in divine law. That knowing traveled through the quantum field and reached the client's financial consciousness before her email about rates ever arrived in their inbox. By the time they read her confident pricing, the decision to pay her abundantly had already been made in the realm where all financial decisions originate. This is the frequency that opens money doors instantly, not the frequency of financial hope, which contains doubt about receiving, not the frequency of wealth want, which broadcasts monetary lack, but the frequency of prosperity recognition, which aligns you with the abundance that is already yours in the perfect order of divine financial law. If you feel that stirring in your chest, that recognition that you have been trying to earn the money that already belongs to you, leave a comment with these words: I claim my prosperity, and let the universe know you are ready to operate from your divine financial inheritance rather than your perceived monetary limitations. The practical application of this wealth principle is simpler than your mind wants it to be, and more financially powerful than your experience has led you to believe. We are about to cross the threshold from understanding abundance to embodying prosperity. Let us continue with the keys to your financial kingdom. There is a sacred practice that transforms your relationship with money from hoping wealth might flow to you to knowing it must flow to you. This is not a technique you perform to change the universe's mind about your financial worthiness. This is a ritual that aligns you with the truth of who you already are and what abundance is already yours by divine right. Find a quiet space where you can speak aloud without self-consciousness or interruption. This practice requires your voice because spoken words about money carry a different authority than silent thoughts about wealth. Your voice is the bridge between the invisible realm of financial consciousness and the visible world of material abundance. When you speak your prosperity truth aloud, you are literally calling your wealth into existence. Sit comfortably and close your eyes. Feel your feet in contact with the earth, drawing stability and financial grounding from the planet's infinite abundance system. Feel your spine as a conduit connecting heaven and earth, carrying divine prosperity down into material manifestation. Take 3 deep breaths, each one releasing the old frequency of financial uncertainty and monetary doubt. Now, bring to mind a specific financial outcome you desire. A particular salary increase, business revenue goal, investment return, or amount of money you want flowing into your life. See it clearly, but not with the energy of wanting or wishing for money. See it with the energy of recognition, as wealth that already belongs to you in the perfect order of divine law, but has simply not yet appeared in your physical bank account. Place your right hand over your heart and speak these words aloud with absolute financial authority. This money and I are divinely matched. The wealth that serves my highest good seeks me now with perfect timing and generous abundance. I speak from my prosperity authority, not from my financial need. I command this money from my divine inheritance, not from my human desperation about lack. Feel the truth of these words resonating in your chest. This is not wishful thinking about money. This is recognition of spiritual wealth law. You are not asking the universe to give you money you don't have. You are acknowledging the abundance that is already established in the realm of divine order and calling it into visible financial manifestation. Continue with the core money decree. I now speak to the consciousness behind this financial outcome. Every person involved in my prosperity is guided to recognize our perfect monetary match. Every obstacle to my wealth dissolves before the authority of divine abundance law. Every delay in my money flow ends now in the name of perfect divine financial order. This money comes to me now because it was always meant to be mine. Now comes the crucial element that most people miss when working with money manifestation. You must seal this financial declaration by releasing it completely. Do not spend the next hour checking your bank account for signs. Do not monitor your email obsessively waiting for payment confirmations. Do not rehearse what you will do when the money arrives. Release it with the same confidence you would have after depositing a check, knowing it will clear, because that is simply how the banking system works. Speak the prosperity sealing words. It is financially finished. It is monetarily done. The universe now moves all elements into perfect abundance alignment. I go about my day in peace, knowing this money is already mine in the invisible and is now manifesting in my visible bank account with perfect timing. There was a woman named Rebecca who practiced this exact process before what she considered the most important salary negotiation of her career. Instead of spending hours researching market rates and rehearsing justifications for why she deserved more money, she spent 15 minutes in this ritual, speaking directly to the universal intelligence that orchestrates all perfect matches between valuable service and generous compensation. She walked into the salary negotiation, not hoping to convince them to pay her more, but knowing she was worth the abundant compensation she was about to request. When they discussed her current salary, instead of scrambling for financial justifications, she spoke from the quiet certainty that her prosperity was already decided by divine law. Her energy was so different from typical salary negotiations that her manager later told her they decided to exceed her request before she even finished stating the amount. The financial door that opens for you may not be the exact monetary source you are focusing on. The universe often delivers your wealth in forms more perfect than your limited financial perspective could imagine. Trust the abundance process. Trust the money timing. Trust the intelligence that knows how to orchestrate financial circumstances far more masterfully than your individual planning could accomplish. If this practice has shifted something in your financial energy, if you feel that quiet certainty about money replacing the old anxiety about lack, the prosperity transformation has already begun. The external financial changes will follow as naturally as sunrise follows dawn. But there is a specific time frame within which these monetary shifts typically manifest, and understanding this wealth timing prevents doubt from sabotaging your abundance results before they have a chance to appear in your bank account. Let us continue into the sacred timing of divine money manifestation. When you speak with true financial authority as you just learned, when you command money rather than request it, when you decree abundance rather than hope for prosperity, you set in motion wealth forces that operate according to precise divine timing. Understanding this money timing is crucial because your mind will want to monitor your bank account for results immediately. And when deposits don't appear within hours, doubt will whisper that the abundance process isn't working. But spiritual wealth law operates with mathematical precision. Just as it takes exactly the right amount of time for an acorn to become an oak tree, for a caterpillar to become a butterfly, for the tide to turn from low to high, there is an exact window within which your spoken prosperity decree reorganizes the invisible elements that create visible financial circumstances. This window is 48 hours. Not because money manifestation is slow, but because financial consciousness requires this specific period to realign all the players, circumstances, and monetary synchronicities that will deliver your wealth in the most perfect way possible. During these 48 hours, people are being moved into position to pay you. Financial decisions are being made in boardrooms you've never seen. Money transfers are happening between accounts that will create the abundance flow you've commanded. Genevieve Behrend discovered that when you speak from genuine financial authority, not from desperation disguised as confidence about money, but from actual prosperity knowing, the quantum field begins immediately reorganizing reality to match your wealth decree. But this financial reorganization happens first in the invisible realm before it becomes visible to your bank balance. Think of it like planting a money seed. The moment you place that abundance seed in fertile soil and water it with your prosperity decree, the wealth growing process begins instantly. But you don't see financial evidence above ground for days or even weeks. If you dug up the money seed after 24 hours to check if wealth was growing, you would kill the very abundance process you were trying to nurture. Your trust in the invisible prosperity process is what allows the visible financial result to emerge. During these 48 hours, your only job is to maintain the frequency of wealth you established during your ritual. This means catching yourself when the old financial doubts arise and gently redirecting your inner broadcast back to prosperity, knowing rather than money hoping. When your mind wants to figure out how your abundance will arrive, remind it that the financial how is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to maintain the certainty that wealth will flow. This is not passive waiting for money. This is active trust in abundance. You go about your daily life making decisions from the consciousness of someone whose prosperity is already flowing. You check your email with financial expectation rather than monetary anxiety. You answer your phone with the energy of someone who knows good money news is coming. You interact with people from the space of someone whose wealth is already being recognized. The neuroscience behind this 48-hour money window is fascinating. When you speak a prosperity decree from genuine conviction, you create new neural pathways in your brain that begin broadcasting a different electromagnetic signature around money. This signature influences what researchers call your reticular activating system, the part of your brain that filters financial information and determines what abundance opportunities you notice in your environment. Within 48 hours, this new electromagnetic money signature stabilizes and begins attracting financial circumstances that match its wealth frequency. You start noticing income opportunities you previously overlooked. You receive payment invitations you wouldn't have been offered before. People respond to your money conversations differently because you're literally vibrating at a different prosperity frequency. But here's where most people sabotage their own financial results. Around the 36-hour mark, when nothing seems to have changed monetarily yet, doubt begins its campaign to return you to your old poverty frequency. See? It didn't work. You're still broke. Your bank account is the same. No money has appeared. The mind cannot see the invisible wealth reshuffling that is happening and assumes no abundance process is happening at all. This is the most crucial moment of the entire money manifestation process. How you respond to this financial doubt determines whether your prosperity flows or remains blocked for another season. If you allow the doubt to change your inner broadcast back to financial uncertainty and monetary desperation, you cancel the very abundance forces you set in motion with your original wealth decree. But if you simply acknowledge the doubt, thank you for sharing your concern about money, and return to your prosperity knowing, if you speak your financial authority one more time just to remind the universe and yourself that your wealth decree stands regardless of current bank balance appearances, you become financially unstoppable. The 48-hour window is not arbitrary in money manifestation. It is the precise amount of time required for your financial consciousness to fully embody its new prosperity frequency and for that wealth frequency to reorganize the physical world to match it with abundant results. Never early, never late, always exact. As we approach the moment when these invisible wealth forces begin manifesting visible money results, certain predictable financial challenges will arise to test the genuineness of your new prosperity frequency. Understanding these money challenges and knowing how to navigate them determines whether you become a master of abundance manifestation or someone who occasionally gets lucky with small amounts. Let us continue with your preparation for financial victory. As you embark on this new frequency of commanding money to flow rather than hoping wealth might come, 7 specific forms of resistance will arise to test the authenticity of your financial transformation. These are not obstacles. They are abundance initiations designed to strengthen your prosperity authority until it becomes unshakable. Understanding and navigating these money challenges is what separates occasional financial luck from masters of wealth manifestation. The first financial resistance is intellectual doubt about money. Your rational mind will insist that speaking to the universe about wealth is fantasy, that real financial change requires business plans and strategic thinking. When this voice arises, simply respond, "Thank you for your concern. My prosperity authority comes from a higher intelligence than logic alone can comprehend about money." Continue operating from abundance, knowing while allowing your mind its opinions about wealth. The second money resistance is social skepticism about your new financial confidence. People around you may question your changed relationship with money or suggest you're becoming unrealistic about wealth. They may try to pull you back into old patterns of financial struggle because your prosperity transformation threatens their own limiting beliefs about money. When others challenge your new way of being with abundance, respond with gentle firmness. I appreciate your caring about my finances. I'm choosing to trust in monetary possibilities beyond our current understanding. The third wealth resistance is circumstantial contradiction. External financial situations may temporarily appear to worsen rather than improve. Bills may increase, income may seem to drop, money problems may seem to multiply. This is often the universe clearing away everything that is not aligned with your new prosperity frequency to make space for greater abundance. When financial circumstances seem to contradict your wealth decree, declare, I see through the illusion of temporary money conditions. My prosperity truth exists beyond current bank balance appearances. The fourth abundance resistance is emotional overwhelm about money. Feelings of unworthiness around wealth, fear about receiving prosperity, or inadequacy about financial success may surface with surprising intensity. These are old poverty energies being released from your system to make room for your new abundance identity. When difficult money emotions arise, welcome them. Thank you for leaving now. You are no longer needed in my prosperity consciousness. I embrace my divine financial worth with gratitude and grace. The fifth prosperity resistance is comparison compulsion about wealth. You may find yourself obsessively comparing your financial results to others' success, wondering why money seems to flow easily for some people while you're still waiting for your abundance breakthrough. Comparison is the ego's attempt to return you to the frequency of financial lack. When money comparison thoughts arise, redirect immediately. Every person's wealth timing is perfect for their highest good. My abundance flows in divine timing for my greatest financial benefit. The sixth financial resistance is control addiction about money. Your mind will want to micromanage how your wealth arrives when your abundance should manifest, what form your prosperity should take. This need to control financial details actually restricts the universe's ability to deliver your money in the most perfect way possible. When control thoughts about abundance arise, practice surrender. I release the how of my wealth and trust infinite intelligence to orchestrate my prosperity in ways beyond my limited financial imagination. The seventh and final money resistance is success fear about wealth. Paradoxically, as your financial door begins to open, you may feel afraid of actually receiving the abundance. Money's success fear manifests as self-sabotage around wealth, procrastination on financial opportunities, or sudden doubt about whether you really want the prosperity you've been commanding. When abundance success fear arises, embrace it. I am safe in my financial expansion. I am worthy of all wealth. I step boldly into my divine prosperity inheritance. Each of these money resistances is actually a doorway to greater financial authority. Every time you choose prosperity, knowing over wealth doubt, abundance trust over money fear, financial faith over bank balance evidence, you strengthen the frequency that commands wealth to flow. You become someone for whom financial obstacles dissolve, for whom money solutions appear effortlessly, for whom the word no around abundance simply doesn't compute in the universe's response system. There was a woman named Catherine who experienced all 7 financial resistances within her first week of practicing this wealth work. Her mind criticized the money process as delusional. Her family worried she was becoming unrealistic about abundance. Her bills increased unexpectedly. She felt waves of old shame about her worthiness to receive wealth. She compared herself to financially successful friends and found herself lacking. She tried to control exactly how her money breakthrough should manifest. And when a major abundance opportunity finally presented itself, she almost declined it because she felt unready for such rapid financial success. But Catherine had been prepared for these prosperity challenges. Instead of allowing any resistance to change her inner abundance broadcast, she acknowledged each one and returned to her wealth knowing. My financial door is opening because I command money to flow. I am ready for all abundance. Divine financial timing is always perfect. Within 10 days, she received 3 different offers for income streams she had been hoping to develop for months. If you feel ready to face these 7 money initiations with the courage of someone who knows their divine financial authority cannot be shaken by temporary wealth resistance, if you understand that every challenge is simply the universe testing the strength of your new prosperity frequency, leave a comment saying, "I am ready for financial victory," and let that declaration be your armor against all doubt and fear about money. The resistance is not your enemy in wealth creation. The resistance is your training ground for developing unshakable financial authority. And those who master the money resistance become masters of abundance manifestation. We are approaching the amplification techniques that multiply the power of your new prosperity frequency exponentially. Let us continue with advanced wealth applications. Now that you understand the fundamental wealth frequency that commands money to flow and how to maintain it through financial resistance, certain amplification techniques can multiply the power of your prosperity decrees and accelerate the manifestation of your desired abundance outcomes. These are not necessary for money success. Your financial authority alone is sufficient to command any amount to flow to you. But these wealth amplifiers can intensify the abundance process and create results that seem miraculous in their speed and monetary perfection. The first money amplifier is physical anchoring with wealth symbols. While you speak your prosperity decrees, hold a specific object that becomes charged with the energy of your financial authority. This might be a coin, a dollar bill, or any small item that you designate as your symbol of flowing abundance. Each time you hold this object while decreeing your wealth outcomes, you strengthen its energetic connection to your money success frequency. Carry it during important financial conversations or business meetings as a physical reminder of your divine prosperity authority. The second wealth amplifier is energetic preparation of financial space. Before entering any situation where money might flow, salary negotiations, business meetings, investment discussions, or even difficult conversations about finances, speak your abundance authority over that physical location. This room is charged with the energy of perfect financial outcomes. Every person I meet here recognizes our mutual monetary benefit. This space supports my highest wealth good. You are literally programming the environment to amplify your prosperity frequency. The third abundance amplifier involves gratitude, multiplication for money. After speaking your prosperity decree, immediately give thanks not for wealth you hope will manifest, but for abundance that is already accomplished in the invisible realm. Thank you that this money has already flowed in divine mind. Thank you that all financial elements are now moving into perfect alignment. Thank you that my prosperity serves the highest good of everyone involved. Gratitude seals your wealth decree and prevents doubt from dissolving your money manifestation. The fourth financial amplifier uses mirror authority for abundance. Stand before a mirror, look directly into your own eyes, and speak your prosperity decrees to yourself as if you were a beloved friend whose wealth success you absolutely believe in. Money flows to you effortlessly. You are irresistible to perfect financial opportunities. The universe conspires to support your highest abundance good. This creates a feedback loop that strengthens your conviction about wealth and trains your subconscious to expect financial success. The fifth money amplifier employs collective prosperity energy. Share your financial victory, appropriately and wisely, before it manifests in your physical bank account. Not with people who might doubt or diminish your wealth authority, but with those who understand spiritual abundance law. I'm celebrating the perfect money opportunity that's already mine in divine mind. When others add their faith to your prosperity knowing, the combined energy accelerates wealth manifestation dramatically. The sixth wealth amplifier involves success rehearsal with money. Before sleep, as your conscious mind relaxes and your subconscious becomes more receptive, mentally rehearse receiving your financial outcome. See yourself in the abundant situation, feel the emotions of monetary achievement, hear the conversations that confirm your wealth victory. This programs your sleeping mind to continue working on abundance manifestation throughout the night. The seventh and most powerful money amplifier is financial identity alignment. Begin living immediately as the person who already has the wealth you're commanding into existence. Make decisions from that prosperous identity. Speak from that abundance authority. Carry yourself with that financial confidence. When you fully embody the consciousness of someone whose money always flows, resistance becomes impossible and wealth results become inevitable. A businesswoman named Joanna combined all 7 money amplifiers when approaching the most important financial deal of her career. She held her grandmother's silver dollar while decreeing abundant success. She energetically prepared the boardroom by speaking prosperity authority over it before anyone arrived. She gave thanks for the completed profitable deal before entering the building. She looked in her car mirror and affirmed her inevitable financial success. She shared her wealth certainty with her mentor who understood manifestation. The night before, she rehearsed the handshake that would seal the abundant agreement. And throughout the entire process, she operated from the identity of someone for whom such profitable deals were natural and expected. The negotiation lasted 15 minutes. Instead of the extended back-and-forth financial process everyone expected, the clients immediately accepted her proposal and asked to expand the project with even more money. Joanna's prosperity authority frequency was so strong that resistance simply couldn't gain traction in the room when it came to discussing abundance. If you sense that you're ready to amplify your natural financial authority, if you want to become someone for whom money doesn't just flow but pours in with enthusiasm, leave a comment saying, "I amplify my wealth," and let the universe know you're prepared to operate at the master level of abundance manifestation. These amplifiers are tools for those who have mastered the basic money frequency and want to step into extraordinary financial results. Use them wisely, use them with gratitude, and use them in service of wealth outcomes that benefit not just yourself, but everyone your prosperity touches. As your financial doors begin opening with unprecedented speed and grace, certain unmistakable signs will appear to confirm that you have successfully shifted into the frequency where money miracles are natural occurrences. Let us continue with recognition of your approaching wealth victory. As you maintain the frequency of financial authority and apply these wealth principles consistently, unmistakable signs begin appearing in your reality that confirm your transformation from someone hoping for money to someone commanding abundance. These signs are not coincidences. They are evidence that you have successfully shifted into the realm where wealth flows naturally and financial resistance dissolves before your approach. The first money sign is effortless financial communication. You begin speaking about wealth with a different quality of authority that others immediately recognize and respond to. Words about money flow from you without rehearsal or anxiety about abundance. In salary negotiations that previously felt challenging, you find yourself stating your financial worth with perfect timing and unexpected impact. People begin telling you things like, "I don't know why, but I trust your judgment about investments completely," or "Something about your energy around money makes me want to pay you more." The second abundance sign is magnetic financial timing. Money opportunities begin presenting themselves with almost supernatural synchronicity. You think about a financial need, and someone calls within hours with exactly the abundance solution. You walk into places at precisely the right moment to overhear crucial money information. You receive investment invitations, business propositions, and wealth insights that arrive with perfect timing to support your prosperity. This is not luck. This is your aligned frequency drawing every financial resource you need into your experience. The third wealth sign is dissolving money obstacles. Financial problems that seemed insurmountable begin resolving themselves without your direct intervention. People who were previously resistant about paying you or unavailable for business suddenly become helpful and accommodating about money matters. Banking delays mysteriously speed up. Credit difficulties fix themselves. Investment blocks clear overnight. The universe begins rearranging financial circumstances to match your new frequency of abundance expectation. There was a woman named Patricia who noticed all 3 money signs manifesting simultaneously during her final week of job searching after a layoff. After months of salary negotiations that went nowhere and companies that offered below-market rates, something shifted in her financial energy after she began practicing the prosperity authority decree. In the span of 3 days, she received callback interviews from 4 different companies that had previously shown no interest in her financial requirements. During the salary discussions, Patricia found herself speaking about money with unprecedented confidence and clarity. Instead of anxiously accepting whatever they offered, she interviewed them to determine which opportunity aligned best with her abundance vision. The hiring managers responded with enthusiasm about her financial expectations she had never experienced before. One told her afterward, "Within 5 minutes of discussing compensation, we knew you were worth every penny you were asking for." By Friday of that same week, Patricia had received 3 job offers, each with salaries better than what she had originally hoped for. The position she ultimately accepted came with a compensation increase of 40% over her previous job, better benefits, and the exact financial environment she had envisioned. The entire process unfolded with such ease and prosperity that she later described it as, "like watching the universe rearrange itself to support my wealth." The 4th money sign is expanded financial influence. People begin seeking your opinion, advice, and presence in situations where your input about wealth was never requested before. Your financial suggestions are implemented with unusual enthusiasm. Others start describing you as someone who makes money happen, someone who brings abundant energy, someone whose involvement guarantees financial success. You discover that your presence alone elevates the monetary outcomes of any situation you enter. The 5th abundance sign is wealth acceleration. Money, opportunities, resources, and financial support begin flowing to you from unexpected sources. Old debts are forgiven or resolved in your favor. Investments you had forgotten about produce unexpected returns. People offer you financial advantages, business discounts, or free services without being asked. The universe begins demonstrating through material evidence that you have shifted into the frequency of someone who is naturally prosperous. The 6th and most profound money sign is fearless financial expectation. You wake up each morning with quiet certainty that something wonderful is going to happen with money that day. Instead of dreading your bills or bank statements, you anticipate them with excitement because you know they carry good financial news. You begin planning from abundance consciousness rather than scarcity concern about money. You make decisions from the authority of someone whose wealth is inevitable rather than someone who hopes prosperity might be possible. A successful entrepreneur named Maria experienced this exact progression of financial signs when she was seeking investors for her startup. After practicing the abundance authority decree for just 10 days, her entire energy around fundraising transformed. Instead of desperately pitching to anyone who would listen, she began interviewing potential investors to determine which ones deserved to participate in her prosperous vision. The shift in her approach to money was so dramatic that investors began competing for the opportunity to fund her venture. One potential investor told her, "I've heard a lot of pitches about money, but something about your certainty makes me absolutely certain this investment will be profitable." Maria raised more capital than she had originally sought, with better terms than she had imagined possible from people who became wealth mentors rather than just financial supporters. These money signs are not rewards for good financial behavior. They are natural consequences of operating from prosperity authority rather than monetary desperation. When you embody the consciousness of someone for whom wealth flows easily, abundance must flow easily. When you carry the frequency of someone who expects financial cooperation and support, money cooperation and support become inevitable. If you have begun noticing any of these abundance signs in your own experience, if you sense that your relationship with money is shifting from hope to knowing, leave a comment saying, "My wealth signs are appearing." And let that declaration amplify the evidence of your financial transformation. But the ultimate money sign, the one that confirms your complete mastery of this abundance frequency, is when you no longer need signs to believe in your financial authority. You operate from such deep prosperity, knowing that monetary outcomes become secondary to the joy of expressing your divine wealth nature through human experience. We approach now the final element that seals this financial transformation permanently into your identity, ensuring that flowing money becomes your natural experience rather than occasional exceptions. Let us continue with the sacred seal of wealth mastery, There comes a moment in every financial journey when understanding transforms into prosperity identity, when wealth techniques become your natural way of being, when what you once practiced around money becomes who you simply are. You stand now at that threshold, not as someone who hopes abundance will flow, but as someone for whom flowing wealth is the natural law of existence. The final seal that makes this financial transformation permanent is not another practice to add to your money routine. It is a recognition to embody with every breath, a truth to carry in your bones, an authority to speak from your soul. You are not someone trying to get money to flow to you. You are someone through whom the universe flows abundance to others. This shift from receiving wealth to being a channel of financial blessings multiplies your prosperity authority exponentially because it aligns you with the cosmic principle that we receive money by giving, that we are blessed financially by being a blessing, that wealth flows to us when we become money flow facilitators for others. When you carry this consciousness, financial resistance becomes impossible because you are operating from the frequency of service rather than self-seeking about abundance. Speak these words now, not as an affirmation you hope will become true about money, but as a recognition of what you have always been beneath the layers of doubt and financial limitation. I am a natural wealth flow facilitator. Money flows through me to serve the highest good of all. My financial success creates abundance for others. My prosperity authority opens monetary pathways for everyone I encounter. Feel the truth of these words settling into your cells, into your DNA, into the very essence of who you are around money. You are not someone who occasionally gets lucky with wealth. You are someone whose presence makes abundance flow not just for yourself, but for everyone in your vicinity. You are a walking financial blessing, a living prosperity key, a human embodiment of divine money possibility. Repeat these sealing words 3 times, allowing them to anchor deeper with each repetition. First time, whisper, "It is financially finished. All wealth is available to me because I make abundance available to others." Second time, normal voice, "It is monetarily done. My prosperity authority serves the highest good and cannot be denied." Third time, with full conviction, "It cannot be otherwise with money. I am who I am financially, and wealth flows because that is my nature." This is not the end of your abundance journey. This is your graduation into financial mastery. You no longer practice techniques to become someone who commands flowing money. You are someone who commands flowing wealth, and everything you do is an expression of that identity. When you walk into financial institutions, the energy shifts to accommodate your success. When you speak about money, others hear prosperity authority that demands respect. When you set financial intentions, the universe rearranges itself to fulfill them because you and your abundance desires are no longer separate. They are unified expressions of divine will working through human form. The responsibility that comes with this financial authority is sacred. Use it wisely. Use it generously. Use it in service of monetary outcomes that lift not only yourself, but everyone your wealth touches. The abundance that flows to you is not just for your benefit, it is a gateway through which you serve the higher good of all existence. If you sense that you have crossed this threshold, if you feel in your bones that you will never again be someone who hopes for money, but someone who expects wealth as naturally as sunrise, join this community of conscious financial creators by subscribing to this channel. Your subscription is not just engagement with content. It is your declaration that you are ready to live from prosperity authority and support others who are awakening to their own divine wealth power. And because financial transformation deserves acknowledgement, if these teachings have shifted something fundamental in how you see yourself and your relationship to money, express your appreciation through super thanks. Your generosity completes a circle of giving and receiving that amplifies abundance for everyone involved. Most importantly, I invite you to return here in 48 hours and share your wealth testimony in the comments. Tell us about the financial door that opened, the money opportunity that appeared, the abundance conversation that flowed with unexpected ease. Your prosperity victory becomes proof and inspiration for others who are still learning to trust their own financial authority. Remember this truth as you go forward. Every money conversation you approach is already deciding to flow in your favor because you are approaching it. Every person you meet is already being moved by the divine intelligence that recognizes your prosperity authority. Every financial opportunity you desire is already seeking you because you and your highest wealth good are magnetically aligned. You carry now the frequency that opens all money doors instantly because you have remembered what you have always been. A divine being having a human experience, a financial authority clothed in physical form, a walking abundance miracle expressing itself through what the world calls your life. Go now in the certainty of who you are financially. Speak from your prosperity authority. Move with your divine wealth confidence. Expect every money door to open because it is your nature to walk through opened abundance portals. The universe is waiting to support your next great expression of financial mastery. And so your wealth is done. And so your abundance must be. And so it cannot be otherwise with money.